What is going on, guys? So let's see. I need to update this here first. I'm realizing that my thing needs to be edited here. Let's see. This is not the RE100. This would be the HG Build Divers Gundam Shining Break that we're building here. All right. So now that the title is updated, hello, hi, they're in the chat, how's it going? Oh, and what's this? Noticing that on Twitch, it looks like pinwheeling. Was the stream frozen there for a second? And I'm dark. That's okay. Don't really need to see me. But, like that? I think we want the light, something like that anyway. We need some light on what we're doing, ideally. Not so much important that there's any light on me. But I am here in the shadows. I don't know if I can adjust my built-in camera settings. Let me see here. Hey Nick. Let me see. First time watching my stream? Well, thank you. This is my first time streaming this week. Do you have a schedule where you stream at this time? No, I don't have a schedule of which day I'm going to stream, but anytime I'm usually going to be streaming is going to be this time, about this time. It'll be like at night. Well, for me it's my night after my kids are asleep. I'm just looking here at some stuff, trying to see if there's anything, if I can adjust my built-in camera settings on my laptop. I don't think so. NetV, you love my YouTube channel. Well, thank you. Around this time, awesome. That's good for you. Okay, it's good for me. Hey, Gerard and Soraven Zero. And guys, hello guys. It'll probably be a first time for a lot of you because since my video that I uploaded the other day talking about how I was going to start doing this new system, a lot of people started following my Twitch channel. I was getting a lot of emails about that. Hello, Cluedo. So let's pop open Shining Break and get into this because then I've got some other stuff to work on tonight. So let's just jump right into it. This kit, I think, is going to be pretty cool. So I've got all the parts here. I'll separate it out. This would be waist, torso, and backpack. Right leg, left leg, head, right arm, left arm, accessories, and then all the leftover parts. So like this section here for where I'm sticking like the leftover extra parts is full. There's so much leftover parts in this. Depending on how quickly we get the kit put together during the stream, I want to take a look at just some of the extra parts and stuff too, just kind of see what we have, see what you can make with the extra leftover parts. I don't think I'm gonna. I considered going over the articulation, like trying out the not the articulation, sorry, the transformation. I was thinking about maybe I'll spend some time during the live stream going over the transformation. I don't think so. Like I said, I've got some other stuff that I want to work on later after this, so probably just get the kit built, maybe take a look at some of the extra leftover parts, and then say goodnight to you guys while I go get some other work done. But for the time being, let's get started. And as always, guys, sorry, I'll do this away from the microphone. For those of you who are new to my streaming, If you have any like direct questions for me, it's much easier for me to see them if you put them all in capitals. So if you just type in all caps, if you have a specific question for me, then I can see it easier. Or you can tag me, just put the @ZakuAurelius, so I can see that, of course. I missed something here. What did you say? Fueled by Jordan said, in the unboxing video, it looked like there was enough spare parts for an extra head. I hope you can make one. Yeah, I don't think there's all the parts to make a full head. That's one thing that I do want to try out. I think you're missing the faceplate. I think the faceplate is used for the shining brakes, so you can't have a full extra head, but you will definitely have some extra leftover head parts. Gerard asks, have you heard Genlock? It's created by the same company that made RWBY. I don't know what RWBY is, but I saw something about Genlock. Yeah, it looks kind of interesting. It's an American-made thing, right? I don't know. It reminded me of like because of the scale of the robots. It reminded me of like Border Break or Full Metal Panic. Neither of which I haven't seen either of those series, but just based on just my kind of base knowledge of just the size of the mechs basically, and the design of them, and kind of like the militaristic feel of everything. From what I saw, just like I watched like half the trailer for Genlock. It was like an advertisement on Instagram or something like that. Came up. I saw you guys were in there talking about the Alex as well, the teased Alex kit. One thing I will also need here. Yeah, Bandai teased an Alex kit, which looks like it's probably a 2.0 master grade. So that's pretty cool. RWBY is sort of an American-made anime, so whatever is made from them is probably the same. When I hear the words American-made anime, I get a little bit nervous, so I don't know, but I haven't seen that, so we'll see. Got some Sapporo tonight. Again, if anyone at Sapporo is watching, still waiting on a beer sponsorship, that'd be great. Thank you very much. Let's twerk, shall we? So like I said, do the torso and backpack first. The backpack is pretty minimal on this. There's not really much to it. But I don't know, like going into this kit, like before I did the unboxing, I wasn't really expecting it to really be using that many parts from the original Shining Gundam. So I was actually kind of surprised about that. I mean, I knew it was using some of the design features from that, like the head and the front skirt section. I recognized those sections, but I just didn't think that just because it's like a transforming mobile suit and like it looked so different, I didn't think that it was actually going to be having some of those actual parts from that kit. So that's actually kind of surprising. The other thing too that I'm noticing right off the bat, that this clear part here on the front is not wanting to stay in. So that might be a problem. It's kind of in there temporarily, but it seems like it's not in there very strongly, so I'm a little bit nervous. I'll show you guys what I mean here in a moment. Let's get this parts put together. So like that clear green part there, if I just shake it, yeah, it will come out, so that's not good. I'm wondering what it was, if because like there's nub marks on there, if I just trim the nubs a little bit too much. Maybe just like when you're trimming that, only trim the nubs like a little bit on there, just so that it's tight in there when you fit. If I just touch it, it'll pull it out, I think, really easily. So that's going to be something I'm going to be kind of nervous about, having to worry about losing that part. But let's press on. If you remember, didn't the Shining come from an early All Gundam project? Someone mentioned that in the comments I saw on the unboxing for this guy, and I guess that may be true. I honestly don't remember, so I couldn't say. In my mind, I would have guessed that the All Gundam project started after this, but I could most certainly be wrong about that. I mean, obviously after this, but I mean the Shining Gundam. If I had to guess, I would have guessed that the HD Shining Gundam came out before Bandai started their All Gundam project, but yeah, I could definitely be wrong about that. I don't really know. I don't really remember. I wasn't paying that close attention to Gunpla stuff at that time. So that is it for the torso. That's just like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 parts and 4 polycaps. So very simple there for the torso, and a little bit of a bend there, a little bit of an ab crunch, not a whole lot. But then let's flip to the backpack, which is background here on the color page. For this guy, I have to peek around my camera's in the way. It's very simple, just got these 2 parts here on the side, which is where you're going to plug in the beam sabers. You've got just a single thruster well there in the center. Let's see, it's got you putting the short side on the left and the long side on the right. The backpack is basically a single thruster and storage for the 2 beam sabers. The thing about these beam sabers is that they're plugged onto circle pegs, so you have to kind of check the lining of them because they're like square-shaped beam sabers, but they're plugged onto a circle, and you have to like make sure that the 2 are rotated correctly so that they're in line with each other. And also, this is also looking unfortunate that the backpack, oh, it does have a little peg on there. It's just a single peg, so it's kind of like, I was worrying about it like rotating around how it shouldn't, but there's a little peg, I don't know, a little kind of like key thing there on the top, so that would keep that from moving around. But very simple. All right, and then the clear part came out again. The torso and the backpack so far, very simple indeed. Let's put that aside over here, right about there. Shiny Thing said, I would love to know what grade the Alex that was announced will be. Pretty certain that it's going to be a Master Grade 2.0. The way that you can tell is by looking at the image of the foot. It's standing on an action base, and it's based on the size of the foot compared to the size of the action base it's standing on. It's not 1/44 scale. So anything larger than 1/44 scale, it's probably a Master Grade. I don't think it's going to be a perfect grade or a Mega Size Alex. Perfect grade would be pretty cool, but it doesn't look that big. So, and I don't think it would be an RE. So all signs point to Master Grade 2.0. So now we're building the leg. The first of our 2 legs. This kit does in fact come with 2 legs. So that is pretty nice that Bandai was kind enough to give us both the left and the right leg with this kit. So let's start. It has you build both of the feet at once, but I usually don't do that just because of my system of separating parts out like this in this container. I put like the left leg and the right leg separately, so I build the feet separately. But a lot of times on high grades, it does have you building both the feet at the same time. You guys know what I'm talking about. Anyway, so let's see. Part goes up into there, and we're going to need the first of our stickers here. Pretty minimal sticker sheet for this guy. A lot of these I think could basically be made up by just doing some panel lining, because they're just little black rectangles. So easy enough with that. In 2017, we have the RG Unicorn. Last year we had the RG Banshee, and now do you think Bandai is going to release the RG Phoenix this year? That's very likely. We already know they have all the parts to make the RG Phoenix because they had the Plan B, or what do they call the perfectibility Gundam that they released with the Blu-ray. And so we already know they have the parts to make the Phoenix. So it's just a matter of time, and it's just a question of whether it's going to be P Bandai or not. I have a feeling that it's actually not going to be P Bandai, if I had to guess. Oh. And I have heard whispers that it's not going to be. But there's no doubt that an RG Phoenix will happen. Alright, something interesting to point out here with the feet. Up underneath the feet, let me give you guys a really close-up look. Oh, not that close. Let's see. Let's try this close so you guys can see that. Alright, there we go. So it's got some detail up in there, but it's like a big, like the feet themselves, it's like hollow, but then the detail is up inside the hollow space there, so it's kind of odd. But there's the foot. It's pretty interesting. I like it. It's small, pointy. That's always good. Perfectibility is so expensive. Yeah, there was what was that? There was, I mean, it's like $700 something like that for like the Blu-ray. But then there was a different. It was also released in some other way as well. Was it like a Gundam base exclusive as well? Something there in Tokyo? Was there a Gundam base exclusive where you could get just the kit and not a $600 something DVD with that? Not DVD, Blu-ray, sorry. This is ridiculous, man. The prices that they pay in Japan for like Blu-rays and especially anime, other things as well, but like especially anime Blu-ray is just insane. Why anyone buys anime Blu-ray like box sets in Japan is mind-boggling. But hey, when you're an otaku, that is what you do, because your life is dedication to your thing, whatever your otaku thing is. Your life and your money. It's crazy. $11. Yeah, MG is definitely better than RG. Like I said, I'm pretty sure it's going to be an MG. It definitely looks like an MG, and I'm definitely hoping that it's a 2.0 MG, because I also agree that I just much prefer MG over RG. Don't really care that much for RGs anymore. There's some nice ones, like the Suzabi was fantastic, the Unicorn was fantastic, so they definitely have been better recently. But then that's like kind of offset by like the high mobility type Zaku, which I love the high mobility type Zaku in design, and I'm sure the kit is probably fine. But they have like really amazing releases, like the Sazabi and the Unicorn that they've been doing recently. And then they have the high mobility type Zaku, which is a retool of like the second RG in the line. So it's like, I don't know why they're going all out with some brand new ones that are amazing. And then between that, they're putting out stuff that's it's retooled, old designs. But I guess that's just kind of what they do, right? But anyway, RG Unicorn is better than the MG Unicorn. Probably, yeah. In pretty much almost every way, I would agree. The one thing that I like about the MG is I think I kind of prefer the proportions of the MG a little bit more than the RG. The RG is a little bit more bulky. I think it just has to do a lot with the fact that they're squeezing that transformation into a 1/44 scale kit. The MG has more space, but I kind of prefer the proportions of the MG personally. This knee armor on this thing is gigantic. that's really how that goes on there. Wow, that is very large. And we've got a little black sticker for the front of this dark blue part. I don't know how visible this is actually going to be on there. It's very likely that I may even totally forget to mention that in the review because it's barely visible. There is a tiny little black sticker on that dark blue part, so there you go. And for this one, we've got, let's see, this part going like that, and then this guy going in here, to the side of here. And there we go. That is our leg done. That knee is gigantic. That is ridiculous. What are you saying here? What would you say is the most enjoyable and complete PG to aim for in terms of the build, cost, and final look? I was thinking either the Strike 00 or the Mark II. As I've talked about many times before, I actually don't really like PG kits all that much. They're cool just for how big they are and complicated, and the Exia, the lighting, the LEDs on the Exia is amazing, and the unicorn as well is really cool. But honestly, I mean, get a perfect grade if you really like the design of the kit itself. Don't get a perfect grade just because you think that like perfect grades are like the best. I think there's a really common kind of thought process, I think, among a lot of people, especially people who are maybe a little bit newer to the hobby, that like perfect grade is like the top of the line kits, and like if you're getting your tax refund soon and like you got a lot of money to spend, you're thinking like, alright, I want to get something really nice. I want to get a nice perfect grade. Perfect grades really are not that great, to be honest. They're big, they're complicated, they take a lot of time to build, but you can't really do a whole lot with them. It's kind of like you just build it and just stick it there. They're really heavy, and you you're saying you're considering the Strike, which the Strike is probably one of the most posable for sure. But like if you want something that you can actually like pose and just kind of like move it around, put it up on an action base, get it in like a really cool pose and everything, then I think you're much better off just getting a nice master grade kit or even something else. But among the ones that you mentioned, I mean, if you do want to spend a bunch of money on a perfect grade, I would definitely probably recommend the Exia and with the LED unit. Now that is spending a lot of money. Unfortunately, Bandai set the price point for that LED unit extremely high, unnecessarily high. But it does look really, really good. Mark II, I think also one of the better looking perfect grade kits, but it's pretty dated. So I mean, it's just the kind of thing you don't really expect to do a whole lot with it, but it probably looks pretty cool. I don't know, and I can't remember. Sorry, what was the other one you mentioned? But I don't know. When it comes to perfect grade kits, just check some reviews and see like what kind of stuff you think looks good to you and the price of them. I don't know, I've talked about this, I think, too many times now. But it's just something that it's a point that I want to be out there that I feel like no one else really talks about. Because I've been there. Like, when I was first getting into Gunpla, that perfect grade Wing Gundam was like my dream kit, and all I ever wanted was that perfect grade Wing Gundam. And then I got it eventually, and I was like, well, this is like actually not that fun, like as compared to other things. So other kits I think are more fun than PG kits. not that bad for its age. So I will say too that I cut the front skirts there in the center, and they're very loose now. So they'll move individually, but they're quite loose. So maybe consider that before you cut yours. I got a couple stickers here for this as well. The front skirt. Go ahead and stick these. Yellow one and this one. What do you think about possible releases of MG Narrative? I don't know. It's possible. Who knows? I mean, Bandai is always pulling out surprises, so could see a Master Grade Narrative come out. What I should do is I should answer your question with I don't think they're going to make a Master Grade Narrative. And then 2 days later, we'll get the announcement that there's going to be a Master Grade Narrative. That's how it's been going lately, whenever I make a prediction. Twice now in like the past month or so, I've been proven wrong. I've predicted something that I've said something like Bandai is not going to make something. And then, very shortly after, you get the announcement that it's actually coming out. Like I said, I appreciate the feedback, even if you've been asked the question to death. I wanted the PG4 display piece, something big like the Double Riser, or now that you mention it, Exia with the lighting unit sounds good. Yeah, Exia with a lighting unit looks great if you want it for a display piece, and you have the money and you're willing to spend the money for it, then get that, I would say. Alright, so there's the waist unit done. One of the legs. Let's go ahead and get the other leg done for this guy. Yeah, as Ice Raid says, the unicorn with the LED unit is also another good option. I would say. Unicorn, of course, looks good with the LED unit. The nice thing about the Exia, though, the advantage the Exia has over the unicorn is that I think the Exia is much better for posing. The PG unicorn, it's not really a whole lot you can do for trying to pose that kit other than just standing. But the Exia actually poses really nicely. So that is one advantage that it has. So if you wanted it in like some sort of like action pose rather than just standing there, the Exia is definitely better for that than the unicorn is. So that's something to consider. The Mega Size Unicorn is also very nice if you just want something big and less expensive. Very big. I actually really liked Mega Size Unicorn. Again, also you have to not care about the transformation gimmick as well. Really surprised that they haven't made a Mega Size Banshee. Very surprised about that. But I guess they'd have to make like I don't think that they would want to make all the Armed Armor V and BS parts, so they'd probably just make the Banshee Norn, and then just have to make the DE shield for that. But I don't know. Yeah, strange why they haven't made that. Where are we? 7 goes on here. A Mega Size Unicorn Gundam in Unicorn mode would also be really cool, but I think that would also they had to change a good amount of parts of that. I mean, because it's basically like the high grade. The high grade has a lot of different parts. They could go for the Banshee Verka routes and mega size, yeah, and not including the extra parts. That's possible. I would be very surprised about that though. It is possible though. I mean, again, with Bandai, anything's possible. But for them to do the Verka or the manga version of the Banshee would be pretty surprising. Alright. Alex is tired of 00 stuff. Yeah, well. Kind of just like how I think we're starting to see less seed stuff these days. I think that'll be the case with 00 stuff probably. I mean, we have the Master Grade Dynamis coming out, and that will probably also lead to probably a couple more Master Grades from the 00 line. But I think as time is going by, I think we're probably about to start to see a little bit of decline in the 00 kits coming out. I think they've pretty much juiced the Exia and the 00 Gundam of all the different variants that they can possibly do with that. So they have to branch out into other Gundams, or just kind of give up on 00 kits for a while. And they've also, I mean, Gundam Build Divers has given them a chance to keep the 00 suits alive and well with the Gundam Build Fighters and the Gundam Build Divers line, basing a lot of the designs, including a lot of the lead designs, on different versions of things from Gundam 00. That. Let's get this last sticker on here. There we go. And the knees on this thing are gigantic. And I think that's going to be a little bit of a problem area too here, just from moving the legs around. So you guys can see this. When you're rotating the legs, I think that this part is going to come off very easily there, where that plugs into that. So that's probably going to be a bit of a nuisance, I'm thinking. One nice thing is, though, pretty minimal in terms of the seam lines, except for the lower leg. On the calf here, all the way down the back of the lower leg, the seam line there, and then all the way down the front as well. But the thigh is good, the thigh is covered, that's just a solid piece there, and the part like above that has a seam line, but it's kind of hidden up in there, so it's not really too bad. So, alright. Let's build the head, finally. Now, as you saw in the unboxing, we have the V-fin in clear green as well, which is pretty cool. So if you wanted to make it with a clear green V-fin, you can do that. Let's see. Got our face piece here. G-Self. Alex is getting angry at the G-Self. I think a Master Grade Verka G-Self would be cool. There's a lot about the G-Self design that I don't like either, so I'm with you on that, Alex. But I think as a Master Grade Verka kit, it could be pretty cool. Especially if we had like a P Bandai version with like a different backpack or something. I'm sure the base kit would just come with the, what was it called, just the flight pack or whatever. Make the whole head clear as possible. There's just the parts for the V-fin parts, just the yellow parts here. You're able to make in clear. Sticker 2 goes on the back of the head. Why is this not really going together? And then the V-fin. No camera on the front of the head, interestingly. Toki would have to do some serious legwork to change your mind. Yeah. And one thing I really don't like about the G self-design is the legs. The detail and like the thighs on it are so weird. Just, if you don't know what I mean, just look up a picture of the G self right now and just look at the thigh armor. Just the shape and the details on it are very strange. So there be the head. It's pretty nice looking. There we go. Getting to be a pretty handsome fella so far. Again, just you didn't see at the beginning of the stream, be careful that clear part there in the chest, as it does come out very easily. Really specific, but if there was one thing you'd add onto the custom RE Mark III, what would it be? Onto a custom RE Mark III, what would I add? Probably like some kind of like full armor parts. One thing I don't really like about the RE Mark III is how thin it looks. It looks very thin. Sort of like the Hakushiki, but more thin. So adding some Shinanju style like thruster pod kind of things, like on the side of the legs or something, and then like something on the side of his arms and his shoulders to kind of like bulk him out a little bit. I think it would be pretty cool. All right. Let's build arms. The nice thing about this using parts from the Shining Gundam 2 is that we have some nice hand options here that we probably wouldn't have got otherwise. If this was a completely new kit, we probably just would have had holding hands and that's it. But because this is using the Shining Gundam, we also have the addition of closed fists, which is nice. It's better than nothing. It's better than the absolute bare minimum, I should say. So I have PC 10 and 11. Barabatos or Barabatos? I think it's Barabatos, not Barabatos. I don't think you need to pronounce the ah. Barabatos. Or maybe it's just easier to say. Barbatos. And yeah, I'm gonna say I also am nay on any master grade IBO kits, because the 100 scale IBO kits are just fine as they are. I would rather have MGs like of other stuff that don't have nice 1/100 scale kits already. But yeah, as far as the Barbatos name confusion, as long as you're not calling it Barbados, then I'm fine with that. Barbotox. Barbatos. Barbatos. Barbie's toes. Yeah, and you guys know what you're talking about there, it looks like, so you don't need to hear it from me. Let's see. What's this guy? Like that. I'm trying to think of what the I'm trying to remember what the Japanese like katakana spelling is of Barbatos. But whatever. If we stuck to the Japanese katakana spelling or pronunciation of different mobile suits, we'd have to say all the Gundam names all really weird. Shining Break Gundam, something like that. And obviously, it's just Shining Break. Let's go even more specific and a little less work needed, like a disc radome on the rifle or some missile parts on the shoulders. Just trying to change it that it says we don't want to go wrong. Okay, so for Ice Raid, for your what is it? GP. Sorry, my brain's fizzing out here. For your Gundam Mark III, other suggestions. Well, yeah, missile pods. Obviously, it was an easy way to bulk it out. Just add missile pods onto the sides of the legs or the tops of the shoulders or something. Yeah, that's easy enough. Alright, there's the arm. Cool arm design on this. I think it's a really cool, interesting kind of mix of like having the Shining Gundam sort of like arm guard on there and like the more pointy, kind of like, again, very double O looking shoulder armor there on that, so it looks pretty good. As far as like radome, Barbatos. Yeah, I don't remember what the katakana spelling for that is. Yeah, missile pods may not fit the design. I'd have to look at it more closely, but I mean, missile pods is very vague. It depends on what missile pods you're talking about. I'm sure you could find some that fit with the design pretty well. Try looking at some Kotobukiya stuff. The nice thing about the RE line is that the RE kits are really detailed, and like oftentimes if you want to use some like Kotobukiya option weapons with Bandai model kits, usually the Kotobukiya weapons are really highly detailed, and they might not always match with the Gundam you want to pair it with. But with the RE line, using something really detailed like a weapon, like option weapon from Kotobukiya or something like that, I don't think would be difficult to make it look right. So try looking into that. If you want to get really strange, maybe try looking at some like Armored Core weapon option weapons as well. Armored Core. There's some really cool like option weapons and like option sets like for Armored Core that might also fit with the kind of odd design of the Mark III. So that's worth looking into probably. But yeah, you could make it look a little more specialized without without having to do too much work, really. Yeah. So I'll just say that after this, the next build that we're going to be doing is probably either going to be the Figurized Mechanics Haro or the RG Full Armor Unicorn. The RG Full Armor Unicorn is what I'm currently working on at work. Just getting it all the nubs and everything done, just getting it ready to come here and put it together on the stream with you guys, but that's probably taking a while. I just started that the other day, so it's probably going to be a couple days before I'm ready to build that and stream building that. Oh, I missed a nub on this part on both arms. So if I have the time to stream before the RG Unicorn is ready, then I'll stream building the Figurized Mechanics Haro. So I've got that here as well. I need to build that, and with that one, I won't worry about going through the process of removing all the nubs and everything beforehand, because it's got so few parts. It won't take all that long to just do that live on the stream. It won't be too tedious. Glad I could. Well, there's someone tagged me in a comment and already disappeared. Spade says, glad I could finally catch one of your streams. Big fan on YouTube. How those things? Things are going pretty well. I'm building a new kit. I'm drinking a good beer. And it's kind of warm in my room here. I've actually got the window open. Very cold outside, but it's so warm in here just because of all the lights and everything. And before I started up the stream here, what I was doing before this was unboxing the new Mechanicore kit. So I just recorded the unboxing for that. After this, I'm gonna go edit that and upload that unboxing video, and then work on the review for this guy. So just to give you guys a little preview. Here's this big thing. It's very big and very heavy box, but still, the box is only like half the size of the Ziegler box. Their Perfect Xeon box. So, just to give you an idea of how big that box was. Gerard says, yay or nay for Bandai to continue the Age kit line? I don't know. I mean, is the Age kit line still a thing? As far as I know. I mean, I wouldn't really say that it's still alive anyway. Alright. Only 3/4 the size of the Deep Striker box. Yeah, that's probably about right. Yep. 3/4 or 2/3 the size of the Deep Striker box, yeah. But compared to the Perfect Xeon box, it's probably about half or less than half. The Perfect Xeon box is ridiculous. You could basically just use that as a coffee table in your living room. That's probably what I should be doing with mine, instead of taking up so much space here in my room. Does the MG H2 Magnum count? Yeah, I guess so. Forgot that that kit is coming out. Looking forward to that. That is, I don't know, like, now that I think about it, I don't know if I'll end up reviewing that kit or not. We'll see. It looks cool, but I've reviewed the Master Grade H2 normal It was like the Special Forces version that I reviewed, but I've basically reviewed the kit already. And just with like everything else that I want to do this year, like I still want to review like as much as possible, but there's a lot of other things that I want to do in terms of like other projects and tutorials and things like that, and I feel like those are also much more beneficial to you guys than reviewing a kit that I've essentially already reviewed. I think you guys would probably much rather see like cool projects and work and tutorial kind of stuff, right? You don't have to answer that. I know what the answer is. So I don't know. I think this year I might be a little bit more. What do I want to say? There's probably going to be more kits that I'm going to skip reviewing this year. But we'll see. I don't know. It's the beginning of the year. I don't know what's going to be coming out, so it's kind of hard to say that with much certainty. But I want to focus on doing cool project stuff as much as I can. Here's the shield. Pretty cool, interesting shield for this guy. I like just kind of the shape of that, and like it's really nicely detailed. That's the thing about this kit that just kind of stands out as well. It's got a really nice amount of detail on it for a high grade kit. So that's pretty cool. And it's done. That is it. So there we go. The rifle is pretty cool. This part opens up at the bottom, which is like, I think, part of the transformation, actually. But I actually think it looks just pretty cool just opened up like that. So even just like while it's in use as a rifle, just having it opened up like that rather than being closed. But either way, it's pretty cool looking rifle, pretty cool looking shield here as well. So how does it actually plug onto the arm? Oh, that's the plug for that. You gotta hold that in the hand. That plugs up onto the arm. The thing about big shields like this, when a kit has big shoulder armor, is I think that's probably going to be getting in the way of that. Let me see here. How does this actually plug onto the arm? Oh, there is a little kind of hook thing for that. So it's going to be kind of weird getting that on the arm and not crashing into the shoulder, but pretty cool shield, pretty unique, big bulky shield for this guy. So yeah, there's the HG Shining Break. What do you guys think? Yamine Gira. Transform it on stream. Yeah. Alright guys, I'm gonna transform it on stream for you guys. So make sure you're watching carefully. Here comes the transformation, okay? Are you watching? Ta-da! There's what it looks like transformed. Pretty cool, am I right? Let me just show this to you guys. You turn the head around, flip the shoulders up, fold up the legs, fold out the wings on the shield, put the shield and the rifle on his back, and I mean that's basically it. So it's gonna look cool from the top, but it's gonna look like a folded up Gundam on the bottom. I'll show it in the review, but I'm not gonna take the time to do it right now, because like I said, I'm gonna head off now and go work on some other stuff. Looks great, but is the articulation any good? Yeah, so the articulation was one thing that I was a little bit concerned about because it's using older joints, but seems good. Yeah, the articulation, I mean, everything seems pretty good. A little bit weak in here in the waist. There's just a little bit of ab crunch there. When it's got a pretty long waist there, so you'd expect maybe a little bit more, but it kind of doesn't really have a whole lot there. But as for everything else, I mean, double joints in the elbows and the knees. And as someone was saying before, I think this, they were saying that the Shining Gundam was one of the first to come out in the All Gundam project. So that was where they were kind of like, that's where they stepped up their game, at least for like the main Gundams from different series. And yeah, looks to be the case. The articulation on this guy does look to be pretty good. And again, just the details are really good for an HG. There's a lot of detail here. You don't have a whole lot of like big wide open spaces on a lot of these parts, so very cool. I do want to check out some of the extra parts here. We have a whole load of leftover parts, including like an extra set of the leg armor. We have parts for the shoulder armor, parts for the arms. A lot of the new parts for this kit we have doubles up as well. Let's put some of this stuff together here. It's like, just for example, like this is part of the shield. Got doubles of that. More parts for the shield, shoulder parts. This is where does that go in the original kit? I think it's like on the side of the, I think that's ankle armor parts. And someone was asking earlier about the head as well. The original Shining Gundam head. And I want to know if you can make a whole second rifle from this. I know there's I think that maybe you can. What are your thoughts on the HG Destiny Revive version? That'll be cool. I still don't really care too much for the proportions of it when it's just standing, but when it's posed, it looks cool. Looks like too, like we're also gonna have the parts. That's weird. How does that work? I'm probably gonna have to look at the instructions for the original kit to see how some of this stuff goes together. Yeah, the new Revive Destiny looks cool, and I will give Bandai some credit that it's cool that they're actually releasing that kit with the effect parts and not having the effect parts as a Bandai add-on or something. So that's nice of them. We have an extra set of like the main pieces of the torso as well. So you could have the main bits of the torso here with the green vents. That's pretty cool. If you have leftover polycaps, you can make the elbow joints and, or I'm sorry, not the elbow, the shoulder joints in there, and the neck. That's just polycaps. If you have leftover polycaps, which you undoubtedly do, can make a whole second torso with this, and then this part as well. You just need an extra polycap for that. You don't have the, oh yeah, we do. We have the yellow version of the center part for the cockpit there, which I'm going to try on this one, the yellow version, only trimming the nubs like halfway down, leaving a little bit of nub there, and seeing if that will give us better friction to keep that part there in the center better. Yeah, all you're missing from building a whole second torso is just a few polycaps, so there you go. There's that. That's pretty cool. That's great for if you want to do kit bashing or something, you've got a whole torso section right there. Now, what do we have of the head? And can we build a whole second rifle? It looks like we can build a whole second rifle for this as well. I'm not going to bother with all the nubs on this. Or should I? Yeah, because I might want to pose it dual wielding. That'd be cool. And you can, but you don't have the stickers for both. This is weird. I don't know really why they designed the runners in this way. Seems like they designed the runners so that basically they can only put four colors on the runner, but they needed 5 colors. So instead of just making 4 colors and using like another small little tiny runner for like 1 or 2 parts, they just printed doubles of the full runner. Just seems like a lot more waste of plastic, if that makes sense. And it's kind of confusing how that sounds, but hopefully that makes sense. Then they needed one clear green part and 3 yellow parts. So they could have just put the one clear green part on a separate runner, just made it just one little part on its own. But instead of doing that, they give us 2 full A runners. Which on the bright side gives us a whole second torso and a whole second rifle. Again, minus a couple of polycaps. There we go. We got 2 rifles. Now let's see about the head. That was the other thing we wanted to check out here. Pretty sure we don't have everything we need for the head. I think we're missing like the front faceplate. I don't know, maybe not. Maybe we do have everything we need for the head. Where does this go on there? Oh no, I think we're missing the inner face part. That would have been on a different runner, it looks like. So you can't make a full Shining Gundam head. Missing some stuff. There's a whole bunch of head parts here. Trying to figure out which goes to which. That goes with that. Okay. Alright. Mecha Gaikotsu said, get it right on the MG Shinanju's waist joint or you're fucked. I don't know. I built the MG Shinanju years ago when it first came out, the Verka, and never noticed any problem with it. Ooh. Aside from a whole second torso, I think we have the parts here, it looks like, for a whole second head. Well, I think. Let's see, looks that way. Did I say something that even remotely sounded like Siri? Looks that way. I don't know. Clean up these nubs a little bit, so the head will be able to just at least get it put together. Ooh, this is interesting. So that goes with not that. That. This one. There we go. Clean up the nubs a little bit.
That's really unique, Faye. That'll make Sean your version of Picasso.
Oh. Any of you guys ever play Pokemon Snap on the N64? Any Pokemon Snappers out there? Chime in with your best Professor Oak voice. Oh. Alright, Pokemon Snap Professor Oak quotes in the chat. Let's see. Show me your best. The fact they didn't make a Pokemon Snap for Wii U is yeah, the fact they never made another Pokemon Snap game is strange. I don't really know why. I mean, I have to imagine that the original Pokemon Snap sold pretty well. and they're probably not that expensive to make. You don't have to make it super complicated, right? So yeah, for like DS, or I mean, even if if Pokemon Go on mobile had a kind of Pokemon Snap kind of aspect to the gameplay, pretty cool. So yeah, we have a full second head as well with the neon clear green parts instead of yellow parts for the head, but that's pretty cool. And let's see, anything else really too interesting here. Other parts for the head, but they can't fit together without the part that goes inside of there. There's a whole bunch of leftover head parts there you can't really do much with. So they're just kind of random parts of the Gundam there. Looks like nothing really too much else that you can really do much with. But there we go. Looking for arm parts here. Different side skirt armor. What's the part that goes here on the side skirt? That'd be this part here, right? Got the side skirts to hold the beam saber handles in the side skirt if you want. Which is pretty interesting. Where's that other piece of this? Oh, you were close. Thank you. Thank you for someone giving the "you were close." That's what I was looking for. I think that's pretty much it. You can't build a full second shield, unfortunately. Although you do have some parts. You're just missing the wing parts of the shield, so you can build almost a full second shield. It doesn't have like the fold out red wing bits, but really, or when it's just in its shield mode, those aren't deployed anyway. So put this together here real quick too, just out of curiosity. Oh yeah, here. Right. So that is just about going to do it for this stream. Thank you guys for hanging out. Oh, what I'm going to do with the second shield here is you can put the handle in the opposite way. I want to put the handle in the opposite way to be used with the right side instead of the left side. So yeah, that'll be missing the red wing parts, but it's not going to fit in there because of the snub. Sorry about that. Yep, that's gonna just about be it for tonight's stream. Thank you guys as always for hanging out. If you have a Nintendo Switch, which Pokemon game are you gonna choose? Let's Go Pikachu or Let's Go Eevee? I don't have a Switch and I don't know anything about either of those two particular Pokemon games. I did continue to play Pokemon games for a long time after I was an adult. I think I played up until Black was the last Pokemon game that I played. The most recent few I have not played. So I couldn't say anything about that. There we go. Yeah, you have a whole second shield minus the red parts on there. So not too bad. And that's a wrap for tonight, guys. Quick stream. Glad I could catch it. Yeah, thank you. It's not that quick. We've been on for an hour, and I have a feeling this is the third stream of this type that I've done. Now trying out this new format, and they've all been like just over an hour. So it feels like that's probably going to be kind of the average length for things that are like high grades, and I think a master grade or real grade like the real grade unicorn that we're going to do later this week will probably be taking a lot longer. Might not even do all of that live on stream, especially for like the weapons where it's just building the double Gatling gun 3 times. I probably don't need to cover that all in the stream. I know some of you guys enjoy just hanging out, and that's fine, but I have other things to do, so I might not build that all on stream, but mostly we'll build that on stream. So yeah, thanks for hanging out, guys. See you later. Bye bye.